All right, welcome in, boys. We are live. Take it to the bank NASCAR prop show for the Pennzoil 400, Las Vegas this weekend. Meyer's here. Coop is here. I got to tell you, I'm a little offended by the people that think I can't hit 3 free throws out of 10. But all in all, I can't complain about my day. How are you guys doing today?
Why do they think you can't hit 3 free throws?
I don't know, Coop, but we have an entire Discord of killers that right now just think that I'm the worst to ever do it, to ever pick up a basketball ever.
Well, my question to you is, when's the last time you've actually hit 3 free throws?
I haven't shot a basketball in years. Doesn't matter. It's a free throw.
Okay. You like Shaq shot free throws for a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, man. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not a member. And you could use the promo code NASCAR is back for a 1-week free trial at nukethehouse.com. Back-to-back weeks, back-to-back winners. I think we hit both races, right? Back-to-back weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Xfinity and Cup. So things are going well. We got past the super speedways. Everything's rolling along. We did the outright video on Tuesday night. Tonight, we're going to tackle the props. Any new thoughts on the outright market from either of you guys before we get the Cup? I mean, before we get to props?
No, nothing new for me.
Meyer?
Not necessarily in the outright market. The only one that I feel uncomfortable with not having anything on would be Denny. But, I mean, it's just hard to square him up considering how he's been. And going into this season, all the things we've talked about before about where his head's at.
Yeah, I'll buy that. No, nothing's really changed for me either. I still feel the same way I did about the 5 or 6 guys that we talked about that we like. I forget if we brought up Chastain, but where are you at on Chastain, Coop, in general? He's got the best average finish here.
Yeah, just like I said the other night, at Coda, we were all wondering, how Ross would do. Would he get the best chassis? Well, there was no best chassis, and Ross wasn't very good. Had a good, average finish there. Went to Phoenix, has a very good average finish there. No Ross. So why should I think he should show up this week? As far as being in contention to win the race.
Right. What about you think RFK could show up? I like Busher the more I look at him.
They can't win this race on speed. They can win it on strategy at the end of the race.
Fair. What do you think? We'll talk about that when we get to that market. But yeah,
Ford does have another year under the belt. Maybe they worked on some stuff in the off season. I don't know. But they typically are very solid qualifiers. But they don't have race winning top tier speed. And the races that Logano won here, he didn't lead a lot of laps. He did it on strategy.
Do you remember what the strategy was? Because I do.
I think 2 tires.
Nope. Remember he didn't run out of gas?
Oh yeah. Okay. But didn't he do 2 tires once?
He might have, but the thing that sticks out to me is that guy's gas tank. They have the unlimited gas tank.
Fords definitely tend to never run out of gas. That's true.
Well, the one thing is Keselowski did. Do you remember?
I don't remember now.
Keselowski pulled off, and they didn't throw the caution. That might be a different race, but I believe this race was the one that Logano did indeed win on fuel.
Yeah, running it out. The only thing that I would say about RFK is that if you look at what they did at Vegas in terms of speed, the first 3 races at Vegas in 2022 and 2023, it is very different than the speed that they have shown since then. I mean, Buescher has been basically, he was top 5 in speed on average in 2024 here. And Keselowski has been in the top 8 in speed 2 out of the last 3. So I don't know. I don't really disagree with you, Coop. I mean, I definitely think that Hendrick and Gibbs are probably in a class by themselves this week. But I don't know. The thing is, like, you just never know if they took another step. They clearly took a step last year. If they took another step forward in the off season, maybe. I don't know.
Well, they haven't shown they've taken a step in the first 4 races.
Fair. That's fair. And I was disappointed with the way that Buescher looked at Phoenix. I mean, I know that he was right there to be top Ford, but I don't know. He wasn't consistently moving forward and until he got on that option tire. What were your guys' thoughts on the option tire?
I just want to see them just go to one tire. I just want to see them not have like this gimmick strategy. I don't know. Maybe people like it. Maybe people like to see a ton of passing from the back of the field to the front because people are on 2 different tires. To me, I just want a race that people have to manage their tires and be fast the entire race. Like, I want to make sure that the best cars are in contention to win, not necessarily somebody just rolling the dice or holding tires, that way. I wouldn't want to see the championship, decided that way,
Right.
or anything else in there, especially with the win and you're in format. We saw it at the end of the year with some cars that probably made it in that shouldn't have. So that's my thought on the tire.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Have you guys heard the update from the tire test? They did 12 hours.
Yeah, I heard that there were 3 tires that they came out of the test with that they were happy with, that they thought were promising.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have ever been or heard any in depth of what goes on in the tire tests, but they do long runs, they do short runs, they run in what much traffic as you can consider with 3 cars. They blow the track off, keep it. They'll get it clean. They'll also make them run when it's dirty. They are pretty thorough with the tire test, from what I have heard.
I think they tested like a dozen tires, right?
Yeah, I don't know the exact count, but I know that they were there for a very long time.
Yeah, I saw that it was like Reddick, Austin Dillon, I think, and maybe one other person.
There was
Yeah.
a Ford. Was it
Probably
Barry?
don't want to mention that guy's name.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. Okay, so all right.
Okay.
Josh, was it Josh Berry, Coop?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy. All right. So let's dive in. Start with the top 5 market. Any top 5s you guys are interested in this week?
Kind of
Go ahead.
neutral on the top 5s. I think I have more interest this week than what I have in previous weeks.
Mhm.
I think, you got to take, Larson, Byron, Bell, Reddick. And I think you have a good chance that 2 of them get their top 5, possibly 3. But I would be shocked if 2 of them aren't in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
There are 2, and one of them will probably make you throw up. The first one is Bowman. Really think Bowman could easily top 5 this race.
I agree with that. Actually, the more I look at him, he's gotten so much faster in the last 3 races, in mile and a half in 2024 than he was in the first 3. First 3 races, he was 15th at Vegas, 11th at Texas, 14th at Kansas. Last 3, he was the 3rd fastest at Charlotte, 4th fastest at Kansas 2, 5th fastest at Vegas. So he's definitely going in the right direction for sure on cookie cutters.
in Vegas in general is one of his better tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 3 top 5s and a win here. I mean, he's definitely the kind of car that's just been hanging around. And I think if I remember back to what Coop was saying, on Tuesday's show, was that I think he puts Bowman ahead of Elliott for this
Mhm.
race. And I think I would agree the more I was looking into Bowman.
I don't know if I can get there. I don't know. I expect big things out of Chase Elliott this year, but I get the logic. I mean, he's definitely shown more speed. That's undeniable.
And
But
he's
yeah,
just kind of sneaky about how he does it too. Like you just don't talk about him, and then next thing you know, he's in the top 10. Then we get into stage 3, and somehow he's just like in the top 5 or just hanging around the top 5. It seems so. I don't know. I really like Bowman this week. I don't think he can win the race outside of maybe a late restart or just something some kind of strategy, 2-tire stop, something like that. But I do think he could top 5.
wouldn't you say though, of all the guys that are 20-1 or higher, like he's got to be right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Definitely.
like I think of he probably has the best chance to win the race. I mean, I guess we don't know what we're going to get out of Briscoe, but I would say above that 20-1 range, he probably has the best chance to win the race, I would say. Yeah.
Yep,
I don't mind
I'm
it.
over
The
that.
only thing I don't like is that I don't know, should we be getting better than what's the best
350.
price? Is that the best price?
Again, I'm so far behind. Looks like there's 350 at Caesars, there's 325 at Canby, 3 at ESPN. MGM just apparently is asleep. They don't really care about putting odds out for this race this week.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have head to heads. That's it, and they have top 3s. They just added top 3s. But top 5 at DK, he is
I have
330.
the winner.
Yeah, they have winner and top 3, but that's like it, and then head to heads. But they don't have any other prop out. And
Right.
they didn't even add outrights until what, yesterday?
What do you think Bowman 350 Coop? You think that's a fair price? That's my only gripe with it.
I mean, what do you want? 450?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, 550. You just
I've,
want to name your number.
I've already screwed myself once in the last 24 hours, and I'm annoyed about it by being cheap.
Why?
Because I stared at like this parlay to make in golf.
Yeah.
Two golfers to miss the cut.
Right.
And I was choosing Max Homa. And it came down between Gary Woodland and Billy Horschel. And Horschel was plus 105, Woodland's minus 130. Their history here is about the same. Form, probably Horschel's a little bit better than Woodland, but neither are doing really well.
Right.
Well, Max Homa does his job and goes out and shoots the second worst score of the day. And I just stared at Woodland and Horschel for 10 minutes. Go with Horschel. Better number.
And the fucking other guy misses the cut.
No. He's got the second best score.
Second best score of the tournament?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Meanwhile, the other guy, Woodland, has the third worst score.
Oh my God.
So
yeah, that's brutal.
Annoyed by that.
Yep.
But
that's brutal. Anybody else? I agree with you, Coop. I definitely think 2 out of the 4 probably top 5, maybe even more.
Right.
And I don't hate that shot, Meyer. Looking at this, I don't really see anything else. Man, if Briscoe shows up, 450 is not terrible. If old Bubba shows up, 450 is not terrible. But
I mean, I guess Bowman's 350 because of his results here versus the two of them.
Right.
450.
Right. Yeah. But other than that, I don't see much than what you guys said. And, you know, depending how you feel on Briscoe and Bubba, maybe. But
There's, excuse me, there is one guy that'll make you puke, and I don't think I have the balls to click the button, but Ty
no.
Gibbs is
I
not terrible at
did.
Vegas.
Get out of my face.
He top 5 this race with no first gear in spring.
He doesn't he seem like he's down bad though right now. How did he end 2024? Good on a high note or horrible?
Had to be terrible.
No, it's horrible, man.
Horrible?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, like he's probably going to have speed. Probably. And 6.5 to 1's not terrible. But boy, I don't know if I can get there.
See, you can't you gotta close your eyes if you're clicking the button kind of thing. Like it's not a feel good slam dunk pick, I'll tell you that. But like the top 10 is kind of where I would be willing to pull the trigger, but the numbers are just terrible across the board.
Coop, you think Spire has speed again for like props?
Yeah, I think they'll do good.
What do you think host of our ceiling is? Top 10?
Yeah, I it'd be tough to get a top 5.
13 to 1. All right, top 10 market. I've made a couple bets in the top 10 market. Where are you guys at for the top 10 market? I assume if you guys could get the number down on Larson, Byron, Reddick, and Bell.
I don't think you have a shot really on Larson and Bell. Numbers just, you got to put too much into it to get little out of it.
Yeah.
I think Reddick and Byron are probably borderline. You might be able to get them to even money. Maybe, $1.25.
What about Denny? Like if he's clean, how does he not?
Denny, I would like. I think he's around minus 160, 170, somewhere in that ballpark. So you can get that number to $1.25 to $1.50. After that, it's probably just Bowman. You can take Briscoe, you can take Bush, you can take Ross, and flip a coin between all of them. You're flipping a coin with, Bowman also, but I would rather just go with Bowman than the three of them.
But you don't think I think you can count on Bowman, and I think you can count on him to have top 10 speed.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I mean, you just mentioned Spire.
Yeah.
They get their engines from HMS.
He's the one guy. I mean, that number is not bad considering how fast he's been.
Right, but what I was going to say is it's just another, team that could put one. I'd probably say it's a very far fetched to get two of them in the top 10.
Right.
That would take away from a Bowman, a Briscoe, a Denny.
Right. Busher.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
More competitive.
Meyer. Oh, God. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was happy to see that you were on Bowman. I actually made that bet. That's the only top 10 bet that I was on so far. But I don't mind the number on Briscoe.
I don't either. He's got it. How could he not have top 10 speed? Marty was fast.
That's what I was going to say. Marty top 10 Vegas 6 times out of 6 races.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that number either.
So, yeah, that'd be the other one that I would look at. I wouldn't be opposed to tying that to something and maybe try to get it to 250, 3 to 1, if you want to kind of get that number up. But That's
gun to your head. Does Kyle Busch top 10 this race? Both of you guys?
Yes.
yeah. Is there even money anywhere? I'm seeing like minus 130, minus 165 at DK. Jesus.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, two guys that we haven't mentioned that are in play for the top 10 are Logano and Blaney too. They could easily finish in the top 10.
Yep.
Not a great track for Ryan Blaney, but Joey seems to be doing a little bit better.
You know what though? Like because I looked into him this week because I bet the top Ford market. He's very hit or miss, and none of those wins came because he was fast.
Right, exactly. He's good in strategy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, could they both top 10? They could for sure. Yeah, so I bet Bowman.
It's a pretty tough market this week in the top 10s, I think. That's kind of why I lean towards Reddick and Byron.
The guys that you feel best about being there.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you didn't mention Bubba Wallace. So I'm sure Adam has interest in, Ty Gibbs. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, and the number on Ty is not, I mean, it's plus 150.
Plus 175 at Bet365.
Would be nice. Yeah, I mean, Caesars has the best number on Kyle Busch at minus 130. Like, I don't know if I'd bet it at minus 130, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. You think you're going to get the host of our top 10 this week, Mar?
I mean, I bet it's out, right? I probably should bet his top 10.
I'm probably going to take a shot.
Like, I think if I'm taking a long shot and just, throwing it out there versus like a Gibbs or a Bubba, like, why not Riley Herbst? 23XI has speed here. He's had speed in the races that they've had speed in.
What are his odds?
Like 13.
How's he done in the Xfinity car? That's one of his better tracks too, right? Home track for him.
I don't hate that call out.
But yeah, I mean, like, if I'm going to take a shot, like, why not just go big?
There's an 11-1 on DK. I'd have to search the rest of the markets.
14 at Bet365, Coop.
6 at Caesars.
6?
5 at Canby.
6?
5 at Canby. 5 at Canby.
6 is crazy. 5.
So, like,
what's FanDuel got? They're usually the best in these markets.
On those books, Adam, like, is he like mid-market, or is he like they just really condensed the top 10 and there's really no long shots?
Yeah, so like here's like Canby's the worst in this market by a mile. Like Todd Gilliland is 5, Justin Haley's 5, Herbst is 5, Zane is 5, Stenhouse is 5, and then like Cole Custer and Nemechek and SVG are all 750, and then like Ty Dillon and Cody Ware are just
Right.
Whatever. Caesars is kind of flat like that. DK has some decent numbers for those long shots, the longer shots.
Riley hasn't finished worse than 8th the last 4 races, the last 2 years in Xfinity, and one of them he won.
You can get 13-1 on FanDuel.
I don't hate that call if we assume they have speed.
I mean, I think you got to take out road course. So
my one comeback to that would be, what happened to Bubba's speed? Like, yeah, Reddick is fast everywhere.
Yeah.
But last year was a down year for him on 1.5 mile tracks.
No doubt.
But I don't hate the price at 10-1, at 14-1 to hit the top 10. Cooper. All right. Top manufacturer. Top Chevy. Anything you guys like?
I mean,
So I was looking into Bowman. Like, even though how strong his finishes are here, I don't think, not outside of the race that he won, I don't think he was ever the top Chevy.
because of
Yeah,
Larson Bowman.
Because the
Right.
problem is Hendrick could probably run 1, 2, 3, 4.
They ran 1, 2, 3 here in spring, or maybe 2023 spring, and he was third.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think, you know, if you go into this, like, do you really want to try to beat Byron and Larson?
right. That's kind
Especially
of
when
where
you want them on the outright.
that's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about it last week, but it feels like a market that we are just not going to be too involved in this year at all. Like, because the
True.
numbers are so deflated on the HMS cars.
This does feel like one though, like where if you were gonna be able to just bet 2 guys, this is probably one of the tracks to do it.
Right. But, you know,
Well, what would you get those numbers to?
I mean, what are you starting out with? 150 and 3-1.
150 is the prayer. Larson is 120.
120.
Byron's 320. I'd have to check in other books to see. You might have better numbers at
130 at DK.
you might have better numbers at 365.
No, they're fucking brutal. I don't know.
130 at ESPN. So
I mean,
yep.
if there were a lot of parlay legs I like this week, which there aren't at all, but if there were, I wouldn't mind trying to get the number up on Larson and Byron to beat the rest of them.
yeah, why wouldn't you just find a group with both of them and try to do a 2 versus 2 versus, 2 versus 8?
I'll tell you,
Most of the time they're in the same group.
no, that's what he's saying. But
Right.
what I think the problem is, Coop, is that Chris Bell will probably be in every one of those groups.
Probably.
And
You're right.
Kyle Larson might not even be in a group. Sometimes they do that too.
Right.
Well, Caesar and Canby have the same group. It's Group A. It's Reddick, Bell, Larson, Byron.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather go up against Chevy than go up against Reddick and Bell.
Right.
True.
Top Ford, I've made a couple top Ford bets. Buescher and Keselowski, tried to get the number up on them. Where are you guys at in the top Ford market?
I mean, I don't mind that, but, like, you're going to have to sit there and sweat for 3 hours and hoping Joey Logano don't screw you.
100%. Definitely know that.
I think from a long shot, like, Graxon would be my pick this week, but, I don't know.
I agree with that.
I think Graxon, I can see them beating Buescher and Kez. I don't know about Joey and Blaney.
I agree with that. Right? Definitely. He would be the guy that I would choose for a long shot pick too. But in order for him to do that, right, where do you think he has to run?
Well, I was going to ask you, like, you think the top Ford is the top 5 car?
Yeah. I think one of them will be, yeah. Maybe the last spot in the top 5. But I think I'm just a little higher on the speed that Roush could bring.
Well, their numbers for top 4, and at least Bushman's number, well, I guess Kez's number for top 4 is probably better than his top 5 number, right? Let me see.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, he's 7 to
Like-
1.
So what's Elliott?
Yeah, 425 for top 5 for Kez.
Not what's like Bush and Chastain top Chevy.
9 and 9.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
They're both 10 at Caesars.
Okay. All right. Then that makes sense. Because I was going to say, I don't understand why Busher and Keselowski are so far separated
Right.
from Logano and Blaney. But I think if Chastain and Busher marketed in that number for Chevy, and it's fair, their numbers.
Yeah, but I don't really disagree with the long shot call on Graxon at 22 to 1.
I don't know. Probably not a market I'm going to get into this week.
Meyer. Top 4.
I do like the bets that you're on, but I just have not bet this market.
Right. Top Toyota. Wow, Chris Bell is minus 115. Woo-wee.
Well, Caesars might have value at plus 120 then.
Tyler Reddick is plus 225. I'm just looking at Bet365. Denny 4.25. Chase Briscoe 14 to 1. Bubba 16 to 1. Like, one of these Toyotas can't beat Bell Coop.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play this, I think that's the approach you got to take. It's just you got to be careful. How much are you willing to lose?
Right, because he could just kill you. He could just legitimately kill you.
Right.
That number is crazy on Briscoe.
Like if you
Briscoe at 14 to 1 is fucking crazy, bro.
It's 750 at Caesars.
But I think the thing is, like, if you do that way, like, you got to play Gibbs and you got to play Wallace, because if they beat you, you're going to be sick to your stomach.
I don't really disagree with that.
So now you're getting in on what, 5 other drivers?
But what you don't think you could just take a solo shot at 14 to 1 rather than having to beat Reddick, Denny, Bubba, Gibbs?
Yeah, I honestly would, like, I get that, because, like, if you're just going to take the one shot and hope it gets there, you're just a half unit or a 1 unit invested, rather than trying to spread it out across 4 or 5 guys, and you could just be buried with both Bell and Reddick, unless you're going to try and get the number up on them somehow. But I mean, how much money do you want to invest into that?
And, like, if you wanted to throw a quarter unit on Bubba and a quarter unit on Gibbs, I guess you could. Like, you'll still make decent profit. But there is no question that Reddick and Bell and Denny could just put you in the ground. But boy, oh boy, if one of them show up.
And this isn't. We saw a lot of cautions here in the spring. Go ahead, Coop.
I was going to say, Chris Bell could make a mistake. Pit crew, speeding.
Yeah, but you need Reddick and Denny to make a mistake too.
Well, I thought you were just trying to beat Reddick. I mean, Bell.
No, like, see, the thing is like, you're right. He could win this race. He could win 4 in a row. So I'm really not looking to bet 5 people to try to beat him. But I wouldn't mind a solo shot to beat him at 14 to 1 or like something like that, because car's going to be fast.
Like this race actually had a lot of cautions in the spring race, but that was when they were still that they had those tire issues. Bell cut a tire. I think he wrecked a little later, but like Marty, I think there was some tire issues in this race. But do you expect cautions when you think of Vegas?
I
would have to look to see how many they have on average.
I mean, if you look at the last 4 races, it's 4, 5, 6, and 7, or it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. One of those 2,
including stage breaks.
Correct. So take 2 away, and that's what you get.
Right.
Your cautions.
Yeah.
It's usually like single car incidents and stuff like that.
Wow, Coop. There are 3 people in a 9-guy market that are above 100 to 1. That is wild.
Yeah. And I don't think they have a shot.
I know, but it's still wild to see.
You don't see Riley Herbst putting a 2-tire on and some late race antics gets him a 5th place finish, and that's top Toyota?
I'll be happy if I bet the top 10. Because I probably would win more units off of the top 10 than what I put on in the because I'm not putting a whole unit on,
It's 100 to 1, Coop Live.
I like that top 10 call out, though. If you bet that, I'm going to bet that with you. All right. Groups. Don't mind a Briscoe solo shot, though. Any groups that you guys see that you like?
I didn't see a lot of groups when I was looking last night. I mean, Meyer already said MGM doesn't have any up. Let me see if DK added any.
I think they do. Camby's got some. Caesar's has a bunch. The problem with Group A everywhere is, like, what do you think of Reddick at 350 and Byron at 4 to 1? I mean, you got to beat the best 2, or, what could be the best 2 cars on the track in Larson and Bell.
I'm not going to try to beat him.
Yeah, it's scary for sure. I mean, in Group B on DK, like, I rate Denny and Kyle Busch above both Logano and Blaney at this track.
I think I would just almost take the solo shot on Denny at almost 2 to 1. I just don't want anything to do with Group B.
Bowman, I mean, based on what we've seen here, especially coming down the stretch in 2024, that number is disrespectful. 3 to 1. You're telling me that he's got the worst odds to win that group out of Elliott, Briscoe, and Chastain?
The funny thing about it, so if you go over to Group C at Caesars, it's Bowman, Busch, Chastain, and Briscoe. Bowman's the favorite.
Yeah, that makes sense. He should be.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What are his odds there?
235.
Same group?
No, so you got to swap out Busch for Chase.
Trying to see if there are any other ones I like.
I talked to Coop early in the week about Gibbs in Group D on Caesars. He's 320 to win a group of Bubba, Kez, and Buescher if he actually does bring speed to this track. But
I like Buescher and Briscoe heads up against Suarez and Cindric. How the fuck does that group lose, Coop?
Their numbers 175. What are you going to do with it?
We can get it up. We could definitely get it up. I don't understand why they are in that group, though. That doesn't make sense to me.
I guess Group G at Caesars isn't bad. If we think Kyle Busch shows up with speed, he's plus 275 to beat Blaney, Logano, and Chase Elliott. Do you think he can be better than those Fords?
Well, Like the two that I have my eye on are, if you're going to take a shot, Ross Chastain and Kyle Busch over Blaney and Elliott.
What group is that?
Group B on 365. You're starting at like 375.
Chastain and Bush over Blaney and Elliott.
Right. And then the other one would be taking Bubba and Ty over Bowman and Keselowski. But I think you got to bet Bowman top 10 to kind of cover yourself.
Right.
Like, those are the only two. Like, if you're wanting to try to get at a 15-1 or 16-1 again.
Right. Yeah, I don't see many other ones that I like. So let me look at Caesars. I don't hate Hocevar in Group E at plus 240 against Suarez, Berry, and Cindric. He should have more speed than those guys.
My worry about him is just his inability to finish races at times.
Right.
Fair. You think Zane Smith runs good again, Coop?
More than likely not. He's in a Ford. I wonder why FanDuel doesn't have groups this year.
Yeah, I don't know. They used to have a few, like 3.
Remember, they were the official sports book of NASCAR. Remember that?
And like, I don't have groups on ESPN either. I don't think.
Just head-to-heads.
Head-to-heads.
Yep. I hope MGM fills out their markets tomorrow. Keg, I know it doesn't mean anything to you yet, but did you see Circa finally added Xfinity and truck odds?
I did not know.
Yeah, Benson sent out a tweet saying they were going to add them. I think they added them last night.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
They need to build out their in-game betting platform before I start caring about them.
Yeah, they need to work on a lot of things user interface-wise. I don't think they have a desktop version that I could even access yet. Caesars has got some pretty off-the-wall markets this week.
Caesars?
Mm-hmm.
Were
You
there
could
any
bet the
head-to-heads?
mile an hour of the fastest lap. Our old buddy, leader of lap 190, wins the races back.
Yeah, but there's still like 77 laps after that.
No, that's why I don't know why that's the one that they want to let you bet on.
Did you see what stage 1 and stage 2 to win the race is on that book?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hold
It's
on.
-3. It's -330 for stage 1 now.
-330, Jay.
Wait, the winner of stage 1 wins the race is -330?
Mm-hmm.
-330.
Coop, what do you think about
Wait, let that settle in for a minute.
I mean, what do you want? What do you want me to do?
30.
What do you want
to sweep all the stages is +135.
No way. What do you what do you think about the qualifying numbers? Like, I looked, and the only people that really interested me based on the numbers were Reddick and Denny. Like, Bell, I'm not betting Chris Bell at fucking 240 or whatever he is to win the pole, but like Reddick's in that 6-1, 7-1 range. Denny's like 20-1.
What do you think
Only
about
16.
Hocevar?
Yeah, post 4 is 18.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, it's a shame we don't know about Bubba because, like, he qualified well when he had speed.
what's his number?
28.
I kind of want to take a shot on some of these Toyotas.
Have we looked at the? I know I haven't. So have you guys looked at the groups? Who goes out early since we don't have a final group?
I have not looked, no.
Okay. Coop, have you looked?
I know Will Byron goes out last.
Isn't that so? Side note, isn't
And
that crazy?
I would assume that Chris Bell probably goes out second last.
Second to last, yeah. But isn't that crazy? So a little side tangent. Isn't it wild that Chris Bell is not your points leader after winning the last 3 races? He's still not your points leader.
Is it crazy? It's fucking absurd.
Okay, just want to make sure we're all in agreement with that because I almost fell out of my chair when I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, the sport is barely a sport.
Yeah, race wins mean fucking nothing.
Oh, I disagree with you.
Here we go.
I'm sure if you ask Chris Bell, would you rather be second in points and have 3 wins?
Wait a minute. Oh, man, that's not the question. That's not the debate here.
Right. I'm not asking his thoughts. I'm not asking Chris Bell's thoughts on it. I'm asking about the point system in general.
Yeah, we're saying it's malpractice that you won 3 in a row and you're not the points leader when there's only been 5 fucking races.
He has 15 playoff points from those 3 wins. That's huge. Huge. So wins do mean something.
Yes. You would agree that he should be the points leader, though, right?
So,
I can't, Meyer. I can't.
What place did he finish in Daytona? Because that's the race that has obviously stunted his first place opportunity.
Yeah,
probably.
I imagine that's the reason.
Probably
Super
really.
Speedway.
Yeah, probably really poorly.
You can hit the eject button at any time at Daytona.
I'm intrigued by Toyota in qualifying. I'll say that. Outside of Bell, obviously you can't bet Bell.
I think if you want to try to beat Bell and Larson,
yeah, Byron at 6-1 it interests me too with Reddick.
Right, like I think you do it in qualifying versus during the race because the numbers are better. And the chances are better because it's a 1-lap shootout.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it'll be a sweaty son of a bitch, though. So it looks like Bell goes last. Bell's last, then Denny. Sorry, well, I'm just going to go in reverse order. Bell, Denny, Byron, Larson, Buescher, Bowman.
Last year, Meyer, can you pull up who was on the pole on 1.5-mile tracks last year? Like the first couple rows. Probably gonna have to go guy by guy.
Hold on a sec. Just let me go to the actual races. If you guys like to talk amongst yourselves, give me a minute.
Yeah. Matchups, Coop. While he's looking for that, anything pique your interest?
Denny Hamlin over Ryan Blaney. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but that has some interest on me.
At what number?
It's -130. Alex Bowman -110 over Ross Chastain.
So do you want? I can give you quick the best average starting since 22 in the next gen car and intermediates. You want that number or those people?
Yeah.
So Bell is the.
Hold on. Let me just finish these matchups real quick.
Okay.
Kyle Busch plus 160 against Denny Hamlin. I mean, if he shows speed, if he really does bring speed, that number's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't hate that number on Busch or heads up against Bowman either. Plus 130?
I think it's fair. Briscoe over Kez, minus 105.
Yeah, that's not bad. Meyer, any matchups that you saw that you liked?
To be honest, I have not looked in that market yet. A wild week, to just say that.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't really see anything out other than the ones that we just called out. Coop, what about Hendrick is minus 140 against Gibbs? You don't think they should be a bigger favorite than that at Vegas?
Yeah, I think they should be. They got 4 wins of the 6 races in this car. Toyota has none.
I don't hate that number at Caesars.
And to be honest with you, I guess Bell and Reddick are really the only Toyotas. And Reddick's not even, HMS. I mean, JGR.
Right. I mean, unless Denny or Briscoe come with just an incredible whip. I don't hate that, actually. That's at Caesars. I wouldn't mind getting it to like even money so you don't have to lay a vig. But other than that,
you're not betting that up minus 140.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not. But I'm probably going to bet that.
I say there's a much better shot that you make three throws than you lay minus 140.
Wow,
Thanks,
shots
man.
fired. Shots fired. Actually, you know what? I took that the wrong way.
Yeah, thank you, Cooper. This guy. All right, Meyer, hit me with it.
Okay, so if we're looking at the intermediate tracks, average starting position, your top driver will be Chris Bell, 6.5. Right behind him, Larson, 6.9. Tyler Reddick, 7.5. William Byron, 8.5.
Jesus Christ.
And then what's the number after that?
You got to throw Allgaier out because he only had one race. Denny Hamlin would be your next in line at 11.1. And then Marty's right there with him, 11.
3 spots it drops.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Ty Gibbs is crazy. He's right there with him, 11.2. He is literally in the same bucket as Denny.
I think we should bet Byron and Reddick, Coop, and try to beat them.
So I pulled these races. You can tell me how much you think they correlate here, but I pulled 2 races the last 2 races at Kansas, the last 2 races at Charlotte, and the last 2 races at Vegas to let you know who started on the poll. So Vegas, September, Bell was on the poll, Gibbs was 2nd, KB 3rd, Reddick 4th. The May race, the spring race or early summer race at Kansas, Bell was on the pole. So I think that was back-to-back pole wins for Bell at Kansas. Ross second, Noah Gragson third, Kyle Larson fourth, KB fifth, Ty Gibbs sixth. Going over to the Charlotte race, May race at Charlotte, Ty Gibbs on the pole, William Byron second, Chris Bell third, Marty fourth, Elliott fifth. The 2023 race at Charlotte, Will Byron on the pole, Harvick was second, Kez third. So that 2023 race we probably throw out. October at Vegas, Chris Bell on the pole, Tyler Reddick second, Alex Bowman third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Kyle Larson fifth. Carson Hocevar shows up number 6 in October. And then the spring race at Vegas, Logano on the pole, Larson second, Cindric third, Will Byron fourth, Bubba Wallace fifth. Chase Briscoe sixth. So just kind of going through those quick, Bell had the most pole wins, I believe.
A lot of clouds on Saturday too, but it's supposed to get sunnier as the day progresses.
That's better for Bell?
I mean, when you're dealing with clouds, I mean, whoever, gets the clouds versus the sun is going to have an advantage.
What time is qualifying?
It's what, 2, Adam? Be what, 11 out there?
It is 2 o'clock. Oh, wait. P and Q is 1:35 on Saturday. That's Eastern time, so that would be what, 11 or 10:35?
Yeah, but you got to
Local?
figure by the time they run, it's going to be what, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
So basically, from what you read, I mean,
Reddick has a shot.
yeah, like Reddick has. I mean, even Denny multiple times was up there. I heard you say Briscoe 3 times, I think. Obviously, Larson and Byron are right there. Reddick's
Ty
right
Gibbs
there.
had a second and a pole in there. But I don't know if you think that car still got speed.
There is definitely a possibility that you can catch a number in qualifying. There's also a possibility that Bell puts it on the pole at plus 280.
And like I said, Andy goes last too. So you're definitely sweating your dick off with that market.
Yeah. Some of those numbers are enticing, though. I'll say that.
But again, it's no different than what we were talking about earlier in the top Toyota market. Like, how much do you want to invest to potentially lose?
Right. Yeah. Byron has started 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 9th. The last 5 races here.
Byron has a little bit more speed, I think, right now than Larson. So, but it can all change in 1 week.
All right. What else we got? Groups, matchups, miscellaneous props we just talked about. I guess that's it, boys.
Did they have stage out this week, Adam? I haven't seen
Stage winners?
Yeah.
Yeah, Caesars has got them.
So what's stage 1?
Like winner?
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute.
That was 350. The odds are all over the place, so I gotta actually look for people.
I hate when I do that.
Yeah, they're like in alphabetical, so you gotta scroll to each one.
Larson is 250.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're not doing you any favors in those markets.
Yeah, Willie B and Reddick though, 850, 750. That's not
And
bad.
the first stage is inside of the fuel window and the tire window, right?
So would you rather take a shot at 850 and 750 that they win stage one versus beating them in qualifying?
Well, to your point,
You got better numbers.
but to your point, you could have one bad lap, right?
Right. You can have one bad lap.
Do you think it would be easier to beat Larson and Bell in qualifying or to give them a run?
I mean, didn't Reddick win a stage here?
Hold on. So I have Vegas October race. Reddick won stage one. Started second, won stage one. Him and Bell. He won the first stage. Bell got second. Bell won the second stage. Reddick got in an accident. And then the spring race, Larson swept every single stage. Led 181 laps.
Does Byron have a stage one?
In 2023.
But I'd say the one thing that we haven't discussed would be those fastest laps, those most fastest laps. I don't know. I guess they probably don't correlate to the stage win, but those numbers were pretty crazy. I don't know how they could line those numbers like that. And we still haven't came down on Byron, not a ton.
I didn't bet that market. That's Coop bet that market this week.
I mean, Kyle Larson has 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 2.
Jesus.
On stage 1 and 2.
Tyler Reddick's not far off from him. I mean, in the spring race, Tyler Reddick was second and second.
Right. Yep.
I guess we could try to get the number up on Larson to win stage one.
Do you think he qualifies well? Like, would you put him, like, how would you rank qualifying right now?
Bell and then everybody else.
So stage one winners,
qualifying or stage one, you said?
like I was going to see how often does like first or second place win stage one. So like Larson in the spring obviously did it from second place. He won stage one from second place. Tyler Reddick won the October race in Vegas. He won stage one starting in second place as well. Let's see if I can go back to 2023. These ads a tracker. Okay. So Vegas, October 2023, Kyle Larson won stage one, started in second place. So that's 3 for 3. And then the March race in 2023, William Byron won stage one, started from second place. So the last 4 stage one winners have started in second place. So I don't know if that tells you that the outside row is better in stage one or they just get ran down. I don't know. But that's kind of crazy. The last 4 stage one winners have started second place.
They got to just run them down because if that row had an advantage, the guy on the pole would be there.
So I guess do with that information what you will. Maybe it's easier to bet that after we see who finishes in second place or who qualifies in second.
That is a wild stat. I mean, it's a very small sample size, but that's crazy.
I think what you do this week. What were the numbers on Larson and Bell to win stage one?
250 and 350 at Caesar.
And Reddick and
750, 850.
You try to get the numbers up on all 4 of them.
Yeah, what do you have to invest to if you're investing 4 units into that or
Mhm.
2 units? I don't know how you want to do it. Half units. Like, what's your starting number on Larson and being the lowest at 250?
Well,
Well,
probably 3 units.
the one thing I would say is I would feel better about going 4 deep to win stage 1 than I do about going 4 deep to win qualifying, for sure. Because at least you still got time for the cream to rise.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible angle to look at it that way, Coop.
What do you think about say these guys qualify where they're projected? Do you think these numbers come down? Do you think that 365 when they open their stage 1 winner, you think they're going to open it lower than what Caesars has now?
I'd like to say how much lower can they get, but that would be dumb.
Yeah, I think they do.
But do you think if you do you bet
surprised.
the first 2, right? So say you go into qualifying and you know who's on the front row. Would you just invest 2 units and try to get the numbers up on those 2 guys then? Now, obviously, you might not get odds back until Saturday night.
I think the number you're going to lose more on Reddick and Byron because I could see them going down to sub 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're probably going to be Bell and Larson probably stay around, and they're like 450 if they're right behind them in row 2. That makes sense.
Well, something to chew on from now until Saturday.
Yeah.
Parlay pieces suck.
It's a bad week for them, no doubt.
Did you guys want to talk at all about Xfinity or trucks since odds are out everywhere?
I haven't looked at Xfinity yet. I'm working on MMA now, but we could talk about both if you want to.
I have not looked into Xfinity, to be honest. I looked a little bit into trucks.
I think Xfinity is very tough this week. I'm not sold on Allgaier and I'm not sold on Amarillo. I could, I'm not saying they're not going to be good. I'm not saying you're not going to sweat one of them or both of them to win the race. But, I don't think they're, a lock by any means to be there.
So, I guess who do you have your eye on in Xfinity then? Like, who do you think could make their?
I mean, Austin Hill, Jesse Love. I mean, RCR showed speed on the 1.5 miles. Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray. I mean, one of them Gibbs cars is going to be up there. They're going to be up there. Some of them. Swallich could be up there too. He was fast as all get out. Didn't bet him, but he could be there. This isn't a great track for Creed and Mayer. But it's been a pretty good track for Ford, which they're in now. So that could help them.
I think I'd have to dive in a little bit.
I think it's wide open.
What does fast as all get out mean?
It must not be an East Coast thing.
It's not. I've never heard of that before.
What did I say it in reference to?
Swallich.
Oh yeah, last week he was fast as all get out, man. He was humming, man, through the field.
It just means he was fast, Keg.
Got it.
It means he was very fast.
He drove through it twice, didn't he?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't recall off the top of my head, but okay. So that's obviously a little more. Do you anticipate going into that race with any outrights?
I hope so.
Probably. I'll probably have some action. I just haven't got there yet.
Okay. Well, what about the truck race?
I agree with Coop. I think it's Heim's race to lose if he stays clean. Don't know what to make of Chandler Smith. I think the normal people that we're used to seeing run well in this series are going to run well in this series. Majeski, Enfinger, go down the list. Ankrum was good here at Vegas last year. I think Honeycutt is a sleeper. I think he could run very well. I don't know if he could beat Heim, but I think he could top 3 or top 5 this race based on how fast he was last year on these tracks.
And another year of seat time for Raj. Raj won this race last year in the spring.
Raj is one guy I didn't actually look at. What did you think about Raj, Coop?
I didn't put him in my plays because I just can't see him winning 2 in a row. But yeah, I think, Heim has issues. He's probably going to be one of those 6 or 7 or 8 drivers who could possibly win.
Yeah, and when I say he won last year, like he won. Now, don't get me wrong, he was fast. He put it on the pole, and was fast all night. But Majeski had problems, and Heim also had a 22-second stop for his final stop of the race. It was up against the clock. He would have ran Raj down, given if they had a handful of more laps, but he didn't have time. So, but it was an impressive race for Raj. He beat KB, Chris Bell, Majeski, Heim, and Ankrum was coming. Ankrum was cruising in that race too.
Do you think that Heim skews the numbers if he looks like a total wagon? Like if he wins stage 1 for fun and he's, probably minus, considering he's plus 180 right now, maybe even money at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, he's going to skew the numbers. They're already skewed.
You think, yeah, but I don't know if they're fully skewed.
Well,
you're not going to get
10 to 1 if you're
on the second place driver,
right?
In stage 2,
you don't think so?
Not in stage 2, maybe stage 3.
My one, I just don't know if I should attack the race like you did, or if I should just bet Heim until I have to bet somebody else. I don't know. I'm still undecided. I get why you did what you did, but I think we both think that Heim could absolutely shit on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to think about it. Where are you at, Meyer?
Yeah, to me, when just going into this race, when I was looking at it on Monday night, clearly just wanted to see what the numbers were on Heim and Majeski. Those were the kind of 2 that I was honing in on. The more I dug in, obviously we talked about how many people could win this race, like all the way down to Enfinger. Enfinger was good, but I did not see. I for some reason I forgot that Chandler Smith is running in trucks. I just don't know what to do with that number.
I don't. Yeah. What do you think about him, Coop, in general? Where are you at with him?
I don't know. I mean, he's a good driver. He's going to be in contention. He's probably going to be there. But something tells me they're big on rigs on that team. I wouldn't be surprised if he has the better pit crew.
Well, Chandler Smith has 1 truck race at Vegas, and he did win it.
Yeah, he ran well in Xfinity here too. In the Gibbs.
Yeah, very. For sure. I don't know. He worries me for sure. He's another guy. Did you bet him, Coop, or are you going to evaluate?
No, he would be my hedge.
Okay. So you're going to use him as a hedge. All right.
Well, I ain't going to have anything because of fucking Billy Horschel. But,
And the crazy thing is old Heim. He has not won a race at Vegas, a truck race. No, there's only been 2.
If you look at the other mile and a half, he was so freaking dominant.
Yeah, he was. He's by far head and shoulders above most people in this package.
Cheat code. Absolute cheat code.
His average finish here is 3.5. So
3.5. Get a life. Yeah, that's absurd. Yeah, I don't know. So he scares me.
I don't know what pieces do you tie to him to get him to a number that you feel great, because FanDuel's got the best number on him currently. It's plus 195.
How many races did he win last year on a 1.5 miles?
Give me one moment. I'll let you know.
Lando Norris in first practice.
Well, if you're betting that, you bet it now because of the locks and what? Well,
Get you
I don't. Yeah, but I mean, do you think that's a
Wait,
weird
what?
market? Because it's just first practice. Who says that they go out there with all the speed in first practice?
Exactly. It's a wild bet.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the bet?
Lando
He
Norris
said-
wins first
yeah.
practice.
Oh, you bet that, Coop?
Thinking about it, I got about 10 minutes.
What's the price?
10-1. But like Meyer said, like this is where, like in SF Sport F1, like you could see the 10th place driver win that first practice because you don't know what teams are trying.
Right.
Yeah, some teams are just holding back and not showing
Because
their
they get
cards or
3
whatever.
practices.
Right. So Corey Heim won he got second at Texas, he won at Kansas, 36th at Charlotte, third at Nashville, first at Kansas, fourth at Homestead, second that's Phoenix. So not a ton of first place, but
Wait, say that one more time.
he got first at Kansas, second in Texas, 36th at Charlotte, first at Kansas again, and fourth at Homestead.
How many laps
Did I miss
he...
any intermediates?
Kansas, Texas, Homestead,
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Like I think you got to take that with a grain of salt too, man, because I think you need to look at like who his competition was. Because I'm surprised we don't have a NASCAR driver in the trucks. I mean, Haley's there, but you know, a ringer. And a lot of them races probably had some 1 or 2 decent Cup drivers.
How many laps did he lead? Did he lead any laps at Charlotte when he finished 36th?
72.
What about Homestead?
68.
Fuck off. All right.
He led 79 when he won Kansas the first time around, and he led 64 when he won Kansas the second time around.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Led of 60 laps in 4 of those races.
That's crazy.
Best car doesn't always win, but I mean, it's tough.
Right. Yeah. I think I would just rather try to get a 6-1 maybe on him. Just bet that. And you're going to be, unless he's not what we think he is, which I think we would all agree would be surprising. You're going to be able to get a decent number on people that you want to bet in this race.
Yeah.
If he is as dominant as he has been in the format.
Here's the thing, though. Like, maybe it was just early part of the year, but he didn't really qualify well at these.
Yeah, he does.
He was always he always qualifies in that 11, 12, 13 range, right? Like somewhere around there.
So at Texas, he qualified 14th. Kansas, the first time around, he qualified 13th. Charlotte, he did qualify second. Then we go back to Kansas. He qualified 33rd. There had to have been something wrong with his with his Q lap where he didn't qualify or something, because he won that race. And then Homestead, he qualified on the pole. So, kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah. So as far as Xfinity, basically, you're just not sold on Allgaier and Almirola Coop. That they're guaranteed to be the nut.
Right.
Got it.
Like, I'm not saying they're going to suck or anything to that bad. No.
Right. I like the call on RCR. Austin Hill was low key very, very good on 1.5 mile tracks last year. And anytime he's good, I mean, you normally see love hanging around. So I like that call.
I mean, he won a race here.
Yeah. I like that call. All right, boys. We will be live tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday. We got 3 races this weekend. Not sure which races we will be premium and public for yet. We'll let you guys know on social. But we'll be live all weekend long. Plus, we have the UFC Fight Night card. Conference tournaments are going on in basketball right now, so the boys will be betting that. And that's it. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, use the promo code NASCAR is back for a 1-week free trial at nukethehouse.com. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow night for the NASCAR Truck Series race. For the boys, I'm Keg. We're out. Later.